Chaos has erupted in Mexico. El Mincho, the head of the Jalisco, whatever cartel, has been killed. And I'm going to give this one to the Trumpster. You could say whatever you want. You can, oh, it was the Mexican government. No. I'm giving this one to Trump. He's eliminated this fentanyl kingpin who's been bringing fentanyl into the United States, killing Americans for far too long. He's dead now. And in response to him getting killed, the drug cartels have basically declared war on American citizens and Canadian citizens who are in Mexico. There has currently been a shelter in place ordered for all Canadian citizens living in Mexico or who are in Mexico. I wonder why they're not in the great, beautiful, utopian country of Canada, right? They live in Mexico, and all Americans who are in Mexico right now. Now, I'm going to play these clips. I want you to pay attention to this, but I want to just tell you, pay attention to what's going on, because I know a lot of people have a hard time doing that. A lot of people have a hard time connecting the dots. So what we're going to do for you, we're going to do for you what you can't do for yourself. We're going to connect the dots for you to show you that while you're in the street defending these godless bastards, that everyone, no one's illegal on stolen land. What you're actually doing is engaging in a form of suicide, self-destruction, as you fight to let these animals into the country unvetted and unfettered. And now they're revealing to you their true colors, showing you exactly what they'll do to you if you let them into America and dare try to stand against them. Let's tap in like we've been slapped in. You feel me?
We want to take you now to some video. This is out of Mexico. Look at this. This is where the U.S. State Department has now issued a travel advisory for multiple regions all across that country after the deadly takedown of their cartel leader, a cartel leader there. Today, the Mexican military killed the leader of the Jalisco.
Hey, damn that. Damn the Jalisco. Why they got to burn shit up in front of Costco, though? See, right there, that's when they would have. See, this is what I'm talking about. I'm a man of peace. Okay, I'm a man of peace. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like to kill. But when you try to come between me and my ability to go into Costco, I got to cut you. Because if that was America, I'd be in that parking lot with an AK-47 hitting everything that got a rolling R in their last name, bruh. You don't stand in the way of a man and being able to go to Costco, bruh. You could have burnt up anything anywhere on the planet, but you didn't have to do that in the parking lot of Costco, my nigga. I'm just telling you, this is where the cartels gonna make a real one come after them. I'm going to turn into John Rambo mixed with Ron O'Neal mixed with Magic Johnson, the way I'm going to be throwing them bullets at their ass. You don't ever stand in my way of getting one of those delicious all beef Costco hot dogs. You don't ever stand in my way of being able to go get the good towels and the good socks from the being at Costco. You don't ever stand in my way to get in there on the weekday to eat them samples and fill up, you know what I'm saying? Like I grilled up, you know what I'm saying? They disrespecting that right there. For me is desecration right there. You don't come in between me and Costco. And for me, that's enough right there to tell Trump to send the drones in and wipe them all out. You don't stand in a man's way of going the way. You don't stand in the way of a man going to Costco, bruh. And that, look at, they burning the cars in front of Costco. And then on the other side too. See these cartels, dog. See what I'm saying? It's gonna be some shit. You get in my way, and I can't go to Costco, dog. I can't lean on the cart and go buy me a big screen, flat screen TV that I don't even need.
Regions all across that country after the deadly takedown of their cartel leader, a cartel leader there. Today, the Mexican military killed the leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel known as El Mincho. And according to the U.S. DEA, the cartel is one of the most powerful and ruthless organizations in Mexico.
El Mincho's killing has triggered violence across Mexico, with suspected cartel members setting buses on fire, blocking roads and clashing with authorities. Tonight, the U.S. Embassy is urging U.S. citizens in the following locations to shelter in place: Jalisco State, including Puerto Vallarta, Chapala, and Guadalajara; Tamaulipas State, including Reynosa and other municipalities; areas of Michoacán State, Guerrero State, and Nuevo León State as well.
How is she sound Mexican? How she pronounce Michoacán wrong? She was like Michoacana. Guys, listen. I gotta play the one about Canada though. I think I need to play the one about Canada so it can hit home, because they're now threatening Americans and Canadian citizens who are in Mexico because this narco-terrorist has been
rapidly
eliminated. El Mincho. You don't mess with El Mincho.
Hello, I'm Linda Ward. Welcome inside the CBC Newsroom. We begin with breaking news on a wave of violence erupting in Mexico. Ottawa is asking all Canadians in Puerto Vallarta to shelter in place following clashes between federal authorities and criminal groups. The violence was sparked by the killing of a powerful drug cartel leader. Puerto Vallarta's international airport has been affected. Canadian Airlines canceling all flights into the city, with some planes even turning around mid-flight. Global Affairs estimates almost 19,000 Canadians are registered as being in Mexico, including over...
Why the hell are 19,000 Canadians in Mexico? I thought that was the land of milk and maple syrup. They got universal health care. They'll leave the universal health care to go stay in dusty Mexico? This is what I'm saying. You got to read between the lines, my friend. You got to pay attention to the explanations they not giving. Why are 19,000 Canadians registered as living in Mexico? Even though Canada is the land of milk and maple syrup, free healthcare, free college, and all this shit. You got Canada bringing in illegal immigrants and making them legal, unlimited. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess they have a population issue, but 19 of their people is living in Mexico. Maybe Canada's not the syrup utopia that they have been telling us it is.
4,500 in Jalisco State. Ottawa says it is continuing to closely watch the rapidly evolving security situation for Canadians. In a statement, Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand says the safety and security of Canadians abroad remains our highest priority, and it is for this reason that we are issuing an updated travel advisory. She says global affairs officials are in close contact with local authorities and partners and stand ready to provide consular assistance to Canadians in the region. For more on this volatile situation that's unfolding right now, we're joined by journalist Katie Silver in Mexico City. Katie, certainly a situation that's very much in flux. Can you tell us a little bit about what started all this and the killing of this cartel leader?
Yeah, so it began early this morning. Police, the military army, in fact, targeted Nemesio Osquera, known as El Mencho, which is the drug king, the leader of this group, this Jalisco New Generation Cartel. We understand it happened in early hours of this morning. It was an operation initially to recover him, but we understand that what ensued was shooting. Residents, for example, nearby described the sounds of this shooting. He was then airlifted, injured, we understand, brought here towards Mexico City, but actually died on the way. He's among 7 people that died. We understand as well police injured, as well as others remain injured in hospital as well. This is what one resident had to say, what they could hear as the shooting occurred.
We started hearing a series of really loud booms and also what sounded like gunshots, and it turned out both were true. Very surreal in that there were
Look how the news tries to control the narrative. We're not going to say that these Canadians are living in Mexico, because that's what's going on. They're living in Mexico, because then that would make people ask questions as to why these people who are citizens of this beautiful country called Canada, that everyone tells us the United States needs to be more like and needs to emulate and copy, Why are the citizens of Canada moving to Mexico? They're leaving free healthcare. They're leaving the socialist utopia of Canada to go down into the skullduggery of Mexico and be under threat by the cartel. See, that's the question that nobody is asking, and they're not going to even chance someone coming to that conclusion by saying or by telling it like it is. These are Canadians living in Mexico. I don't care what Becky Lay Carter has to say. It really doesn't matter. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. And here's my message for you good God-fearing folks here tonight on this beautiful Sunday at the Church of Ebenezer, Ebenezer Scrooge and Christ Baptist Church of the Tabernacle in the 5th tenement of the Holy Lamb who broke the bread and 5 loaves and the 2 fishes and fed millions Baptist Church. Listen, here's what I'm saying. You have Mexicans, and I hope my Mexican neighbors hear this. You have Mexicans in the street, dog, talking about no one's illegal on stolen land. You got little Mexican kid, can't read and don't even speak good Spanish. They're talking about, oh, these people just coming over here for a better life. In Mexico, in the cartels is only messing with certain people. This is the narrative that they tell you. They got the flag and they running around Viva la Mexico. This is what they tell you, right? These fools are basically fighting the American government to create open borders. Understand that. You know what open borders means? Open borders mean anybody could come in. They just come in. You don't check them or nothing. Just walk in. They don't got to bring no shoes or nothing, Jesus. They just walk on across the border, right? Now, Mexicans want that. So too many of them, not all of them, but too many of them want that. But they understand that if they go to Mexico and the cartel leaders say jump, they better say hi. They bow down to the cartel leader. So you're telling me that these people are in the streets of America fighting to open our border so that Mexican cartel leaders and the civilian loyalists who follow them and worship them can come into America so that when we execute the law and get rid of these cartel leaders, they can do the shit they doing now in Mexico, burning shit up in front of Costco, setting buses on fire. Americans and Canadians got to hide inside, can't come outside. So they can do that here. They can do that here. This is why I'm telling you what these people are doing is they're trying to get the American people to sanction an invasion of our country. They're trying to trick the American people into politically approving or voting for and supporting an invasion of our country. Why would you want El Mencho to come in this country? If you have an open border, El Mencho could walk through Tijuana into Oceanside or whatever, Chula Vista, I don't know what's right there. He could walk right into America and nobody would be able to touch him or say nothing. His cartel members would be able to walk across the border and be up in America and nobody would say nothing. Do you think that these dudes who are operating like a paramilitary group in Mexico, look at what they're doing? Federal troops can't even handle these dudes in Mexico. But you want to let this element into America, unvetted, unsupervised, because no one's illegal on stolen land. Do you realize how stupid that is? I'm at the point where we need to pass a law where if a Mexican say some dumb shit like that, they need to immediately get deported or exiled to Mexico. This is what they're asking you to do. They're asking you to let these violent, degenerate criminals into your country in the name of empathy and toxic empathy because you feel sorry for some illegal grandma who you don't want to get evicted or get deported. No, we're not going to do that. This is the whole point that us conservatives have been making this whole time. There is an element that is very present in that country that the average American citizen can't even fathom exists. These are the people who melt your body in a tub of acid so they don't never find you. And you want us to let them in this country in the name of due process? These are the type of people Joe Biden led into this country. But your dumbass will still go vote for Joe Biden like, yeah, Unky Joe. No, it's illegal on stolen land. And I'm looking at these people like, y'all do know it's cartels and shit, violent cartels over there who will kill you. They'll kill you if you don't do what they want you to do. The mailman who delivers the mail at my house, I was talking to him, I saw him on the other street. He said, man, I was listening to your channel. And he was like, at first I disagree with you. And I didn't agree with what you were saying about immigration, right? He said, but dude, I just was down in Mexico. He said he was down in Michoacan visiting his brother. That dude went in his brother's store. He said dudes came in asking for money. His brother paid him the money. It's a true story. I swear for Jesse Jackson that this is a true story. He said he was in his brother's business. His brother's a doctor. His brother's wife is a lawyer. He said he was in his brother's business. Some men came in and they asked for money. The brother went in the till and just gave him the money. So he asked, like, hey, dude, what's up with that? He's like, yeah, that's like some of the dudes from the cartels. They come around and ask for money and we just give them a couple $100, $200-300, whatever. They keep it moving. He said, man, why you got to give them your money? They like, that's stealing. The brother who was a doctor said, look, I'm not even tripping. He said the only time it becomes problematic is when multiple cartel members from different cartels come up in the business demanding money. See, that's how it works. The cartels are like marauding, right? Just because one cartel controls an area doesn't mean another cartel can't come in there and strong arm a business real quick to get a couple of extra bucks and just get the money and move members of that cartel, right? So here's the point. He said, when I saw that, and then he told his brother, like, what you gonna do if one day you don't got the money and try to kill you? His brother said, well, that's why I got the cameras posted up everywhere, you know, just in case they kill me, at least like my family will be able to know what happened and know who did it. So they've accepted this. Mexican people have accepted this. But he put me up on game to one thing I never even thought about. I said, well, why do the people tolerate that shit? Why do the people let the cartels bully them? He said, what you got to understand, Brandon, is that the cartels pay the poor people. The cartels give the poor people money so that the poor people will turn against the rich people. So when the cartel comes in and exploits the rich people, nobody will say anything. See? Because the poor guy is like, well, the cartel give me $500, $600, $700, $1,000 every month. I ain't got no problem with him. I calls him Clay. His daddy called him Clay. I'm going to call him Clay type shit. He's like, I don't got, the poor Mexicans have no issue with the cartel because the cartel pays them off. All you need is crumbs and you can give a lot, you can distribute a lot of crumbs. So the poor Mexicans sit by and they actually cheer the cartels on as they exploit and abuse the Mexicans with money. The Mexicans who got a little bit of resources. That's the same thing the Democrat Party does with the poor versus the rich in this country. We give the poor handouts, little trinkets and nigga trinkets and freebies, and that buys their loyalty and their silence as we go and exploit the rich. That's what will happen in America. The cartels get into America, right? The cartels get into America. You know what they're going to do? They're not going to come in guns blazing. They're going to start giving all these little hood rats and these Tyrones and Pookies and Bonquishas, they're going to give them a little payola. Oh, Tiffany, you got 5 kids by 17 different dudes. You know, you don't want to work. All you care about is talking about that part on the internet, and you want to get a BBL and a stiff wig. Oh, El Mencho, baby, El Mencho got you. Here go a couple $1,000. Go get everything you need. Now, when El Mencho goes to exploit the rich guy up on the hill, Tiffany is loyal to El Mencho. I'm not going to speak out against him. I'm going to praise him like he's a hero because he does good things for me. So I don't care if he does bad things to other people. That's the way, that's the vicious cycle of exploitation. That's the vicious cycle that exists in the third world. And what the Democrat Party is doing, they are trying to bring that same type of operation to America. That is why you see the Democrat Party literally trying to pay and incentivize illegal immigrants to come into this country, right? And this is the way it works. The Democrat Party gets the poor, the middle class or the poor, to turn against the rich. They say, hey, come on with us. We're going to go steal from the rich and we're going to give to you. We're going to give to the poor. So the poor say, yeah, let's go. Let's help them steal from the rich. The rich didn't leave. Now the Democrats is like, yo, the rich not here. We can't steal from them. So now they got to steal from the poor to give to the illegals. And when they bring the illegals in, it's game over, because the illegals have already been trained under cartel law, which is, I'm going to shut the hell up. It's the code of silence as long as they break me off a couple crumbs every now and then. And I'm going to sit silently by while they take advantage and exploit everybody who got some money, hardworking people who want to do something with their life. But this is the element that you are fighting to bring into this country right now. The people who got these white folks in Mexico hiding inside their house, hiding inside their hotel room. You only in America do you see some shit like this, and Americans be like, yo, we need to let them in with no type of vetting, because no one's illegal on stolen land. Just the dumbest stuff you'll ever hear in your life. Just straight up.
We want to take you now to
nonsensical stuff. I do not want the cartels here. And let me tell you what's crazy with these people who support the Democrats and the liberals. They're constantly trying to make a separation where there is no separation. Well, I don't believe biological transgender men should go in the bathroom with women and little girls. But I'm still going to vote for the Democrat who is making it a point to try to make that a reality, because I do agree with them on raising the taxes on the rich so they could create a damn slush fund for poor people to get free housing or free daycare or some nonsense like that. There's no separation. Democrats and liberals literally look at the one thing that they agree with and they vote for that, while in realizing that when they vote for that one thing they agree with, they're also indirectly voting, well, they're directly voting for a bunch of shit that they claim they don't agree with. And that's what Black people have been for decades and years. Single issue voters. See, white people didn't used to be single issue voters, but they've turned the liberal, the bleeding heart, toxic empathy, liberal hordes into single issue voters. They find their issue that they support. They find the issue that they want to implement, the thing they want to implement, and they say, you know what? If I got to vote for all this bullshit to get the thing I want in, I'll vote for it. And that's what they do. Yo, what's up? What's up, Brian? What up, Brian Banks? B Banks is in the house, man. Yeah, I just told you. I just explained that to you on your comment on Facebook. You was like, this is complicated. It's not complicated at all. It all involves exploiting Americans to bring other groups of people into this country to become future voters or controlled, violent opposition to Americans. Because if we don't get these illegals citizenship, I want to tell you, they're going to raise up on you and try to hurt you. I'm telling you that right now. If you don't give these illegals citizenship, eventually, once their numbers get big enough, they will join with legal Hispanics and they will raise up on you, and you will have a civil war in America between American citizens, basically blacks and whites, and Hispanic illegal immigrants and their legal sympathizers. They know what they're doing. Mexicans understand strength in numbers, bro. They understand that. They already have a bunch of paramilitary groups called drug cartels. You think Mexico is really trying to stop the cartels? You know what Mexico's thinking? Well, when the Mexicans take over America, America gonna become Mexico. They might even fuck around and change the name. We gonna get our land back. But you can't tell the middle school kid that, who's walking out of their damn school because they feel so sorry about an illegal immigrant who would just as soon rape them and murder them and leave their body in a ditch as they would run out in the street to protest on their behalf. It's happening every day. It's happening every single day. ICE killed 5 people. They're the worst, most monstrous people on the planet. Illegal criminal alien migrants killed damn near over 1,200 American citizens since Biden let them in, and nobody even mentions it. It's silence. It's silence. Brian Banks, they play cool until their numbers are up. 100%. We know that. And I look at the black people and I say, if these dudes are willing to fight with the police, if these dudes are willing to go in the street and do hand-to-hand combat with law enforcement, how long do you think it's going to take before they wipe your black ass off the North American theater like a stain? If they're willing to fight the white man with the military behind them, what do you think they'll do to you with nobody behind you? They already got you outnumbered. There's more illegal immigrant Hispanics in America than black folks at this point. And we out in the street, they just like us. If they were just like you, why do Americans have to shelter in place right now? If they were just like you, why do Canadians have to shelter in place right now? In America, if a drug dealer gets killed, the tourists that are in America don't got to go hide inside and worry about getting killed. If they're like you and they're on your side, why do Americans have to shelter in place right now for fear for their life, out of fear for their life being taken by Mexican drug cartel leaders? They're not like you. They don't care about you. They don't like you. You're the type of idiot who think the motherfucker who cut your grass is your friend. He don't give a damn. Don't give his ass that check at the end of the month. See if he keeps showing up. See if he keeps showing up. I had a family member who was elderly, so her backyard and front yard got kind of overgrown. She had this dude who was cutting her grass. He would come, do a little bullshit, leave. She was paying him every month. She kind of got loan funds, but she still paid him. So one day I go to bro and I say, well, the backyard is all overgrown. How much extra would you charge just to go in the back and just trim it down, right? Cut all the shit down. That dude looked me square in my face and was like, $1,500. I said $1,500 to cut down some tall grass in a backyard. Oh yeah, $1,500. I fired his ass on the spot. I went and did the shit myself. I said, this motherfucker ain't got no loyalty to you. You've been paying this nigga for years, probably put his kids through college. But when you need him to help you out, bro should have been like, all right, man, just give me like 200. I just go back there with the weed whacker and knock that shit down real quick. That fool said 1,400. I thought it was a language barrier. I got the Mexican from next door to translate for me. He's like, oh yeah, 1,400. He just didn't even want to do it. So he threw a big ass price at us because he had been getting over so long, just coming in, trimming up the edges and stuff, getting his money and leaving. There's no loyalty there. She referred to, oh, my friend. He ain't your fucking friend. You're paying him. And if you ever stop paying him, he'll probably set your ass up and have somebody come rob this bitch. I went and cut that grass. We say $1,400. I just want you to understand that. But I want to show you guys really quick. Hold on. I want to show you what I'm talking about. So there was a protest where these kids walked out of school in this place called Quakerstown, Pennsylvania. These kids left a school protesting against ICE. They really just leaving because they want to be in the fucking street. But for some reason, young men, well, I know the reason, young men are now being led by young high school age women, and the women get all in a tizzy and they say, we need to go out and do a protest and walk out of school. So the dudes, you know, when you're young, you're going to go wherever the hoes at. So they're following these young women out of school, getting into it with police officers, not even ICE. They're getting into it with their local PD, and it's resorting to straight physical fistfights. Check this out.
Anti-ICE protest ended with arrest today. This happening in Bucks County. Authorities say a group of high school students left school and protested in downtown Quakertown. Well, video posted to social media shows some of these tense interactions between police and students. Eventually, officers began arresting some of them. Action News reporter John Paul Live Force now in Quakertown. And John, this escalated as the protest went on.
Yeah, it did, Shari. So there's a lot of details that are unclear at this point. Here's what we have confirmed. This was a student-led walkout to protest ICE from Quakertown High School. We know school officials had asked the students not to take part in it today, but when they walked out around 11:30, they were holding signs, they were chanting. We know that police were monitoring the situation, but here's where it gets muddy. We don't know what started the scuffle. In the end, 5 to 6 juveniles were arrested, and so was one adult. Chaos on the streets of Quakertown tonight after a student walkout leads to a fight with officers and several arrests. According to school officials, about 35 students from Quakertown High School walked out around 11:30 this morning as part of an anti-ICE protest. Officials say they had asked the students not to hold the walkout. There are questions tonight about what's happening in this video. The man in the brown shirt has been identified by sources as the Quakertown police chief. You see him put a girl in a chokehold as he's being attacked by other students before falling to the ground. Witnesses who don't want to be identified watched it all unfold from a nearby restaurant.
I'm shaken by it. They were children. They were children being ganged up on by adults with no self-control.
And the man started to attack the students, and that's when the other students intervened. And
Now listen. They're only gonna interview students. The men started attacking students, and then the other students intervened. It's the fucking police telling you to break up your unlawful assembly. And then when they go to apprehend you and take you to jail or arrest you, y'all start fighting with them. These are kids. They don't know shit. They're dumb. They're just doing whatever they see people on TV and TikTok doing. Now as adults, we got to sit up and battle against the influence of TikTok on children who couldn't even tell you one Mexican state. They couldn't even name for you one Mexican state. They couldn't even tell you how to say quesadilla in Spanish. These people think Mexican food is Taco Bell. But they're all charged up because that's what kids do. They get charged up. The group was primarily females. But they think that they don't have to obey the law. And the Democrat Party purposely programs and radicalizes these kids to be anti-law enforcement, anti-authority, because they know that if they can get this generation to be anti-authority, if they can get this generation to descend into chaos, that will give them every single excuse they need to implement an authoritarian regime in America. Well, it became chaos. The American people and the youth, they were just fighting the police, attacking them, doing this and that. They'll put in another 94 crime bill on your ass. That's what they want. It's the Hegelian dialectic or whatever it's called. Create a problem, then present yourself as a solution. And that's what the Democrat Party wants you to do. They want you to vote them into office. They're going to let this shit get out of control. And then they're going to say, well, we can stop it, but you're going to have to relinquish some of your freedoms. And you're just going to be looking at shit like, man, the kids is out of control. I'm scared to even walk out my house. And you're going to let them do whatever they say they need to do to fix the problem. They're setting you up. And it's 70 million Americans who want to vote for them to do exactly this and execute their plan.
Try to get him to stop.
Police released a statement this afternoon saying some of the students were being disruptive by throwing snowballs and damaging property. In the statement, officials said that some of the kids started blocking traffic. Additional officers were called to the scene, and they say some of the individuals assaulted officers. But witnesses tell a different story.
The situation was completely escalated by the police, and it was extremely jarring to watch.
Quakertown High School went into lockdown at one point.
See, but this is what we're telling you. The mainstream media is complicit, because if you're interviewing these kids and they're talking about it was escalated public, okay, tell us, what exactly did the police do to escalate the situation? Well, they were telling the kids to break it up and disperse and go back to school. Okay, did the kids follow those law orders? Well, no, they didn't. So was it the police who escalated the situation by doing their job, or was it the kids who escalated the situation by leaving the school after the administration told them not to, went to a public area, started destroying people's property, and then started fighting the police officers when the police officers tried to get them to disperse and go back to school? We know, everybody watching this knows exactly what happened. We all know exactly what happened. Understand that. But we gonna sit here and play stupid like we don't know what kids do when they get in large groups and they riled up emotionally. Look at what's going on in Chicago. Those kids are descending upon downtown Chicago, hurting people, beating people up, attacking cops. Oh, but these are children. No. They're children, but they're out of control children. What child says, I'm a child, let me hit a police officer? No, these are out of control adolescents who have no respect for authority. And they're using the situation with immigration as an excuse to buck against authority, attack police officers, and they honestly need to be put in jail.
Officials say they notified students of a potential safety threat this morning and asked them not to hold the walkout.
At the end of it, you could see them picking up their binders, their school laptops, their backpacks after getting into these altercations with the police.
Now, Rick, we know those students.
See, everything for these people is an emotional trigger. At the end, you could see them picking up their binders and their backpacks. I promise you one thing, if they hadn't put hands on the police, they would have never been in that situation. They would have never been in that situation had they never put hands on police. And if they follow, I would have asked that lady, do you think that any of this would have happened if they followed the instructions of the police? The answer is no. None of that would have took place if they followed the lawful order. They brought the damn police chief out. The police chief. He's coming out there like, hey, y'all, just go inside, whatever. They fighting the police chief. An old man with gray up in his hair and bald up in the top. Come on, bro. And if they're willing to do that to the police chief, what do you think they're willing to do to you if you just so happen to be walking by, or you say, hey, y'all, stop doing it? Back when I was younger, a grown man could come and break up a fight among kids, and none of the kids would go and say, we're going to fight that dude. You can't do that no more. Grown folks came and brought sense and control to a chaotic situation with a bunch of kids. I'm not talking about no damn, oh, it's just kids. Go read the book, The Lord of the Flies. It was just kids. They was killing each other. We was just kids in middle school. We were just kids in middle school. Two dudes getting a fight. You know what was happening when one of them hit the ground? 100 kids kicking that dude till he's unconscious. We was just kids, though. Kids can do damage. Kids can kill people. They can hurt people. I don't know if that was the way it was at y'all school when y'all was in middle school. At my school, Stanford Elementary, you get in a fight, your ass hit the ground, you getting stomped out by everybody on the damn playground. But we was just kids, though. It's kids shooting up schools. So we know that they are the ones who are the most easily radicalized among American citizens. We know that. So why would we just keep dismissing this like, oh, these are just kids. These are just kids. No, kids can do harm. That's why they need to have their ass act in class. Hey, come here real quick. I want to ask you a question. Are you guys I'm talking about daughter right now. Are you guys getting any like walkouts at your school?
We had 2. I think either this month or last month.
Did you walk out?
No.
What did you do?
Went to the library and did my schoolwork.
So, lean in. What's going on at these walkouts? Do you think that just kind of lean in a little more? Do you think that these walkouts are really about the illegal immigration situation, or do you feel like these kids are just using this as an excuse to get out of school and go act crazy on the streets?
I feel like let's be real, most of them are having an excuse to walk out, because I heard multiple people talking about, oh, are you going to do the walkout? Talking about, oh, let's go to the park. But I'm sure like a small amount of it is about like ICE and immigrants and all that. But the majority of it is people trying to get out of class.
So they're just like, oh, we got an excuse to leave class.
Yeah.
So do you think it's necessary to have this shit multiple times in a month? Whatever. Do you think it's like doing anything to help the situation with ICE?
No.
Are the kids trying to fight the police and stuff?
Not from what I know of. I don't think so, though.
There's no...
Everyone would have heard about it if some kid was trying to fight a cop or anything.
Because over here in Philly, these kids are fighting the cops at anti-ICE.
I think the kids just like walked to the Pike. I don't think there's like any issues.
They walk to the Pike. What's at the Pike? Is the Pike somewhere where you protest and rally, or is that where you go have fun?
Man, I said if I was doing that walking to the Pike, I would for sure be going shopping. You wouldn't see me till later.
Yeah.
If that was me.
Okay. So thank you. Yeah. So they're doing that stuff here too. But these kids here, they're just mostly like, dude, we get a chance to get out of class. That's what this is about. You're a kid, you basically getting like a free ditch day. And the teachers are encouraging it because they get to just go home. They get to go to work. They don't got to teach no classes. 2:00 hit, we out. Right? Yeah, the difference before and after is the internet. The kids see some shit happen on the internet and they imitate it. That's it. It used to be back when we were young, if you assaulted a cop, you got a mandatory 5 years in prison. And watch that come back. Watch that come back. And it's probably going to come back under Democrats. Because you saw what Joe Biden did when they was talking about defund the police. He came in and gave the police more money. And let me tell you what's funny. When they say defund the police never results in like less police harassing people or pulling people over. Defund the police always results in when you call 911, ain't no police coming. So we're going to make all of ourselves less safe while allowing an invasion of illegals and their cartel leaders into this country, while at the same time defunding or abolishing ICE. Come on, y'all. They're setting you up. Wob Funk. That's why gangs use kids to deal or do drive-bys. Because kids usually get away with crime a lot easier. Hood kids are dangerous. Yeah, and it's easier to get a kid charged up over something that they feel is an injustice, right? That's what gang members do. Hey, yo, them fools killed the homie. You was cool with Allen. You was cool with, right? He was your friend, right? Yeah, they killed him. Here, take this sawed off and go around the corner and lay them fools down. A kid would jump up and do that because kids always have a misplaced sense of justice most of the time. Kids operate based on what they think is fair and what's not fair, right? Oh, this guy shot up a room full of people, killed everybody dead. But it wouldn't be fair if you kill him because it's sad. I don't like the idea of that, right?
Are still being held at the police department here tonight. Police have
so the kids got arrested
to us in person. They've only released that statement that we used part of that. They didn't say much of anything else at this point. We also know school officials say that they're looking into any student who left that school today without permission.
Yep.
Still a lot of questions tonight that we're trying to get answered. We're live in Quaker.
Yep.
John Paul, Channel 6 Action News. Rick?
All right, John, thank you for that report.
And that dude's mustache is crazy. But yeah. So I like that. I like that the police are not releasing those kids to their parents' custody. I like that. Because in a lot of these cases, the parents are the ones encouraging the bullshit. I saw one lady, I'm so proud of my daughter for involved. She's engaging in civil disobedience. Come on, man. But at the end of the day, don't release them back into their parents' custody, because obviously the parents have no control. And it's true. The parents don't have control. They don't. If their parents would have told them, do not walk out that class today, they wouldn't have listened. They would have just did whatever the hell they wanted to do. That's what we're dealing with. Okay, guys, please remember or help us out. Do us a solid. We have a contribution goal. We're trying to get $5 super chats. It's pretty much the same. We try to do a minimum of $25 in donations here. We have the link for Cash App and PayPal linked to the top of the chat. And also, you hit that little $sign at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. You could click there and you could donate $1, $2, whatever you want. But we're asking for $5 donations today on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Now, we're going to move on to another topic. You have these people. Let me put this chair. Hey. Anyway, so we have another issue to discuss here. And that is Zohran Mamdani, mayor of New York, a Democrat, claims to be a democratic socialist. Right now, his party is engaged in a shutdown of the government because they want to defund DHS and ICE. They are also at odds with the Republican Party for wanting to require voter ID to vote in American elections. Now, the numbers are in 86% of Americans, right? 86% of Americans across all political lines believe that there should be voter ID required to vote in American elections, right? So that's Republican and Democrat. The overwhelming majority believe this. So why is the Democrat Party trying to fight back against the Republican Party over the issue of voter ID while saying that voter ID is racist and they're using black people? They're literally saying black people are too stupid to get an ID. So to require voter ID to vote in American elections would be racist. And they're calling it Jim Crow 2.0. But that's not where the irony lies in this situation. Right now, New York is in the midst of a huge snowstorm. They have so much snow on the streets that the city snow removal services can't even handle all the snow, right? So Zohran Mamdani, the mayor of New York, he's asking civilians to come and shovel snow. He said, we will pay you. We'll pay you very good, right? And if you shovel snow, you'll be helping the city. Here's the issue with this. The Democrats, the Democrats do not want you to have to use an ID to vote in American elections. But in order to go shovel snow on behalf of the city of New York, guess what they want you to have? Guess what they want you to have? They don't want you to have to show an ID to vote in American elections, but to shovel snow in New York City, they want you to have not one, but two forms of ID. The Democrat mayor of New York wants you to have two forms of ID to shovel snow in the city, but he doesn't want you to have any type of ID to vote in American elections.
It's been clear. When we fight for democracy, when we protect democracy, we got to fight fire with fire. We're not going to stand idly by, as Maya said. We're not going to let them revert to Jim Crow. And if you don't think they want to revert to Jim Crow, just look what they did in the SAVE Act, which went back to took Jim Crow for the whole nation. By so making it hard, they said you need ID, and they made it so hard to show ID that probably half the people in America couldn't vote. We wouldn't let it pass. Democrats, they needed our vote. They went to court. Many of us, Durbin, myself, and others, were lead plaintiffs, and we beat them in court. But it shows why we need legislation, because these guys are undoing everything in every way they can. They don't want poor people to vote. They don't want people of color to vote. They don't want Democrats to vote. They don't believe.
So Democrats don't have ID? People of color don't have ID? I have a California ID. Here's my passport right here. And in the other room, I have my birth certificate. How is this Jim Crow 2.0 when I know that the vast majority of black folks got their birth certificate? They probably don't got a passport, but they definitely got some California or state ID, and their big mama definitely got their social security card somewhere. Samira, do you have ID? Yeah. Do you have a passport? Yeah. Do you know where your birth certificate is? Yeah. Where is it? In the room. Okay, so my daughter is 17 years old. She has a California ID. She has a passport, and she has her birth certificate in her room, in her mom's little drawer with all our stuff. So tell me, how is this racist? And I know y'all got yourself. Just in the comments real quick, just let me know. Do you have an ID, state ID, passport, and do you either have or have access to your birth certificate? Let me know. We could be wrong, and Chuck Schumer could be right.
Even democracy. We do.
What do you say to Mike Lee's argument that the Senate rules allow the majority to require the minority to stage a talking filibuster to stop the SAVE Act?
We've got to get this done, and we've got to get it done very quickly. The SAVE Act is an abomination. It's Jim Crow 2.0 across the country. We are going to do everything we can to stop it.
Boy. So once again, we got to talk about
So it's racist for the government to want you to show two forms of just one ID to vote, but it's not racist for Zohran Mamdani to want you to require two forms of ID to shovel snow. So all the jobs around America, they're racist because any job you get, you're gonna have to show ID. They even make you show ID to walk into a high school. My daughter, when she go to school, she has to have an ID to enter the campus. So you have to have an ID to enter a campus, even if you're a student. But to go in and vote in an American election, nah, you don't need an ID for that.
I know you just started. I'm not putting too much of the blame on you, but if we get a blizzard, please clean these streets. So you're telling me that it took an entire month for the snow to get cleared from the ground in New York City because they did nothing to clean the ground. They waited for it to rain in order for the snow to clear. And now you're telling me that tonight or tomorrow we're going to get another blizzard? We still have snow on the ground. We still have mountains on the ground. And on top of that, there's a whole bunch of dog shit all over the place. Please, we cannot have another freaking snowstorm where New York City does not get clean, because I don't know what happened this year. New York City, they ain't clean it. Y'all ain't clean it. So all them teenagers that raided Bay Plaza, put them to clean, please. Thank you. Just to reiterate, it snowed a month ago, and there is still snow on the ground. There's still mountains on the ground. And you know it's crazy when Manhattan didn't even get cleaned on time. Manhattan was looking crazy for weeks. Y'all messed up.
Judge Street Journal.
Judge Streeter. Hi, Mayor. Two questions. Is the Department of Homeless Services doing anything different before this storm? And will there be any sweeps of encampments before the storm hits New York?
So our focus over the course of this storm is not going to be on physical infrastructure. It's going to be on people, getting homeless New Yorkers inside. There will be no cleanups over the course of this storm. Our focus is going to be utilizing every tool that we have to connecting homeless New Yorkers with a safe haven, with a shelter, with a warming bus, and we will be sure to be able to provide those homeless New Yorkers with a wide variety of options. Because what we found over the course of the prolonged Code Blue is that we needed to have a multiplicity of options that we were putting forward to homeless New Yorkers, because the same New Yorker who may be resistant to getting on a warming bus may be willing to get into an H&H warming center. And so that is why we continue to put forward all of these different options. Additionally, we have a number of outreach workers who are going to be traversing the city 24/7, looking to make that connection with homeless New Yorkers, as well as the utilization of Link NYC.
Yeah. So you say that you heard that, okay?
Emergency snow shoveler.
So what Zohran Mamdani is basically saying is we're going to put the minority over the majority. That's what he does best. That's what socialists do. It's always about the minority over the majority because everybody feels sorry for the minority. So people will say, okay, I guess I could deal with having less services if they're going to help some homeless people. There are more people who are housed in New York than there are homeless people. There are more people who are working every day in New York than homeless people. Those people need the streets plowed so they can get to work, so they can get to their job, kids could get to school, etc., etc. This man said, we ain't worried about services for infrastructure. We're worried about people. But Zohran Mamdani wasn't worried about people when 19 people died, or maybe it was 16. Let's just say it was 19 for dramatic effect. When 19 people died during his first month in office because he refused to enforce what is known as a Code Blue. Code Blue is a rule that when the temperature drops below a certain amount of degrees, New York City police go around and they force homeless people and unhoused people to go into heating areas. They say either you're going to get your ass up and go into the heating area or we're going to arrest you and take you to a heating area. Because, you know, you got a lot of people who are mentally ill, people who are drug addicted. They like, man, if I go into the warming area, I ain't going to be able to get to this crack, bro. And I'm trying to get high, right? So they forced them to go into the heating areas. Zohran Mamdani, trying to buck against the establishment, say, yeah, I'm not enforcing Code Blue. Let them do what they want to do. It's freedom. Let them do whatever they want to do. And 19 people died. 19 people died. So now that he's already had all those deaths on his watch in his first month, now he's like, yo, I can't have no more people dying. So now we got to focus all of the city's resources on keeping people off the street during this blizzard and getting them into the warming buses, etc. See, these socialists, bro, they only know how to operate in extremes. They either go extreme one way or extreme the other way because they're radicals. They don't believe in moderation. They're like, we got to make radical sweeping changes or else we're failing. He's not a good leader. He's not a leader at all. He's only 34, but a 34-year-old could lead. Zohran is an entitled rich kid who was willing to say and do anything to get elected mayor of New York City, even make promises that he never intended to keep. And the whole city is suffering for it.
Show up at your local sanitation garage between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. tomorrow with your paperwork, which is accessible online at nyc.gov/snow, and you can get started right away.
Zohran Mamdani did such a terrible job with his response to the last snowstorm in New York that to prepare for the one that's coming, he's begging New Yorkers to sign up to shovel snow.
We're utilizing 33 DSNY vans and 2 DSNY buses to transport shovelers where they're needed faster. And for those who want to do more to help your neighbors and earn some extra cash, you too can become an emergency snow shoveler. Just show up at your local sanitation garage between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. tomorrow with your paperwork, which is accessible online.
Oh, and what paperwork is he talking about? You got to have a couple of photos, 2 forms of ID, social security card. This is to sign up to shovel snow. Well, I guess we know what that means. That women and anybody who's not white isn't going to be able to help, because I have it on good authority that we don't know how to get or use an ID. Sorry.
I cannot believe I get to tell you this right now. The jokes truly write themselves if you just sit back and watch. In a press conference this morning, the mayor of New York, Mayor Zohran Mamdani, said that they need New Yorkers to volunteer to shovel snow. We're expecting like a huge snowstorm again here on the East Coast. We just got rid of the last one. And he said that they were not able to recruit enough emergency workers during the last major snowstorm. So they're accepting volunteer snow shovelers. And all you need to do is show up to your local sanitization department between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. to register to do this. But here's the kicker. You need to bring ID. You need to bring ID. ID to vote in New York? No. You don't need an ID to vote, but an ID to shovel snow. You're gonna need your ID to shovel snow. That's what he said.
You really can't make this stuff up. So New York City's about to get hit with a big blizzard. They're calling it a bomb cyclone. And Mamdani takes to the stage, and he's basically telling New Yorkers, you're welcome to grab a shovel, come on down, and they're going to pay you to shovel the snow for us, because sanitation department is a little short-staffed. But the ironic thing is that you can't shovel snow in New York City without at least 2 forms of ID. So it seems that it might be harder to shovel snow in New York City than it is to vote.
If you want to help out and shovel, you do need to bring 2 forms of ID, fill out the paperwork, and your social security card. But to vote in an election, you don't need any of that because that's racist.
Yeah, so people are calling out the obvious hypocrisy and lunacy here from Democrats who have stated over and over and over again that voter ID is racist, right? It is racist to ask somebody to show their ID in order to vote.
But you know why you got to show your ID? You know why you got to bring your social security card? They're not paying anybody over $5,000. So why even just pay cash? Nah, they want to tax you. See, Zohran Mamdani is all about taxation. He's not going to let you do nothing, not even a side hustle, without getting his piece off of it. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. And I cannot believe the people of New York are continuing to put up with this shit. I can't believe it. Here we go. Black and Latino citizens are the largest among voters without ID, about 4 to 5 times more than whites. Live from the deck, you're lying. Black people have ID. You will not run into a black person in America who doesn't have an ID. You're lying. Come up here. I'm going to give you the link. Come up here and tell me this lie. I'm going to give you the link to come up. It's in the comments. This is what I'm saying. People live in the real world and believe straight up lies. My daughter's 17 and got 3-4 forms of ID. ID, passport, birth certificate. How do we not have an ID? Everybody got a birth certificate. That's how they track you. That's how they take out loans against your life. That's how the government takes out loans against your existence. Come up and tell me. I just gave you the link. Blacks and Latinos. You mean illegal immigrants? I challenge you. We can call 10 people in your phone, and if we call 10 people in your phone, I bet you they all have ID. I bet you they all have ID. I bet you. Bullshit statistics. That's an estimate. How do they know? They went and asked all the black people and said, yeah, 40% of them ain't got no ID. That's a lie. That's a statistic that ain't even provable. That's an estimate. You call anybody in America right now. Do you have ID? Yes. Mike, do you have ID?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the one that goes down like this one. Yes.
You have an ID, California?
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone has ID, bro. That's bullshit. And the Democrats, that's what they try to do. They try to blow smoke up your ass and see if you're dumb enough to believe it. I call anybody in my phone and be like, yo, you got an ID? Yeah. Yeah. What is this? Bro went and got his ID and showed it to me. Thank you. Come on, bro. Come on, y'all. Who's believing this shit? Oh, black people, black folks get pulled over all the time. I know we got an ID for sure. Look it up. I don't need. Right. I don't need to look it up because I know it's a lie. It's a lie. Lie from the deck. Come on here. I want you to call the one person you know who ain't got no ID. I'll give you $100. It's bull crap. In the audience, do you guys know anybody who doesn't have ID? And the people who don't have ID, they probably don't vote. Anyway, I don't know anybody who doesn't have ID. I don't know a single person. I'm looking through my phone book trying to think of who might not have ID. Everyone has ID. $20 an hour to shovel snow. My circle is a small survey poll. The poll that you're citing is a small survey poll. The poll that you're citing is a small survey poll. I've been to the projects. People have ID. You can't even live in the projects without an ID. So what are you talking about? I know black folks got ID because black folks is on welfare and you need an ID to get on welfare and a birth certificate. You're full of shit. You're full of crap. The poorest black people, the poorest minorities are on welfare. To get on welfare, you need an ID. They literally give you a voucher to get an ID. I'm going to call a homie who work at the county office.
Hello?
Maggie.
Hey, what's up?
I need to ask you a question. Do you have an ID?
Like a California ID?
Yeah, California ID, birth certificate, passport.
Yeah.
Okay. If I wanted to get on welfare tomorrow, I want to go down to the county office and I want me some food stamps. Do I have to show ID?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you do. I'm not positive. I could ask.
What if I don't have ID? What they do for me?
If you don't have ID, you probably have to provide other forms. Let me ask my girl who works for DPSS.
Like a birth certificate or something, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because they're not just giving it to nobody you can't prove who you are.
Right. So we know in America, even if you're poor, to receive benefits, you still gonna have to have some form of ID.
Yeah, they'll help you get it if you need to. They be having vouchers
Right.
that you could take to the DMV so that you can kind of get it for free if you really need like that.
So until you get that ID, they ain't giving you shit basically, unless you give them a birth certificate, social security card, something.
You were asking about food stamps or Medi-Cal or both?
All of it. How will they even know if you're you to give the Medi-Cal to?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, they gotta, I'm pretty sure they need like ID.
Because you got people telling me that, oh, black people, poor black people don't have IDs, but I know that's a lie because black people is on welfare.
Right.
Have you ever met a black person who didn't have an ID? Like, not I lost my ID today, but just walking around like, hey, bro, I don't got ID.
No, because
And you grew up in the hood, right? You grew up in the projects, right?
We need it. It's illegal to not have them. They fuck with us for not having them.
You grew up in the projects, right?
Right.
Okay, so I grew up in the hood too. I ain't never known nobody. The hardest nigga from your hood got an ID.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Maggie.
You're welcome.
Okay, so my girl, she's a worker for the state. She grew up in the projects, 234th Street in Carson. That's some blood neighborhood with a bunch of thugs. I grew up on the east side of Long Beach, 10th and Myrtle, 21st Martin King, bunch of thugs. I've never known anybody not to have ID. So when someone tells me 40% of black people don't got ID, I know that's a lie. I know that's a lie. There's statistics, then there's bullshit that just gets thrown out. Who the hell is walking around in America without an ID? Please tell me. She just texted me. She said ID and social security card is needed to receive EBT benefits. She just hit me. Y'all can't see this. Look. Can y'all see that? She just hit me. She said ID and social security card. Social security is what's needed. Come on, y'all. We're not stupid. But this is what I'm saying. When you get people like the dude made that comment, they're willing to play stupid to make what the Democrat Party says make sense. And that is the issue that I have with most liberals. If you got to dumb yourself down so that what this politician is saying to you, that's called doing mental gymnastics. I got to trick myself into believing that bullshit is real. Fake shit is real, so that what this guy is saying makes sense, so I could justify going to vote for him. They're lying to you. They're lying to you. Oh, sorry. All right, live from the deck. Tell me these people you know who ain't got no ID.
Man,
hey, no ID, no birth certificate, no social.
First of all, it's a shitload of folks that don't have their birth certificate. Plenty of folks don't have their ID. I mean, like, come on, man.
Plenty of folks.
If you came up in the hood, you know
I did come up in the hood. I did come up in the hood. And I just talked to my homegirl who came up in the projects, and they all had IDs.
Okay. Come on. Everybody in the project got IDs.
Bro, the police pull you.
Hold on, think about it.
I'm from the hood, bro.
Listen.
I'm from the hood. The first thing the police do is say, do you have ID? Are you on probation or parole?
Okay, how many people in the projects got their driver's license?
We not
just
several.
But it's a lot that don't, right?
Yeah, but they got their ID though.
So what I'm saying is that the ID is not so important to everybody. Now
No.
for the women,
we're talking about who doesn't have it. Who doesn't have ID, bro?
Okay, think about it. Just hear me out. So the women, they gotta have to get their benefits and to do all that. Yeah, they gotta have their ID. All right, cool. The men, a lot of the men ain't out here getting those benefits. And I'm talking about the men who are in the traps and making their money in the streets and doing all of that. What purpose is their ID if they can't drive? So what I'm saying is
if they can't drive.
If they can't drive.
So dudes in the hood don't drive.
Now can we agree that there's a lot of folks obviously that drive that don't have their license? The reason they don't have their license because they ain't paid them motherfucking tickets. Come on now.
Yeah, but they got the tick. Listen, man, this dude is crazy. Listen, man, when you go to jail, hood dudes go to jail. When you go to jail and you get out, they make you go get an ID. You got to have an ID to even go see your probation or parole officer.
Okay, all hood dudes ain't going to jail every single day.
I'm not saying that, but hood dudes get IDs, bro.
Okay, fine, but what I'm saying is, how important is it for them to keep their ID if their ID is not serving them any real purpose?
Olarisha just said it. I bet you they get an ID to go in the club, and Negroes be in the club.
Man, them niggas in the hood ain't going to no club.
They are, bro. Stop.
And
how they buying a 40? How they buying a 40?
Listen,
how they buying a 40 ounce?
Come on now. All right, you say you from the hood. You know that you can buy yourself.
If you watch,
listen, you can buy yourself in the club just like you could buy a drink from the bar.
If you watch Menace to Society, they made old dog show his ID to buy a 40 ounce.
Man, I was going to in Atlanta. I've been going to strip clubs since I was 16.
You've been going to underground strip clubs. Underground strip clubs.
They were real strip clubs, though.
I've been to Atlanta. They got underground strip clubs where you ain't got to show no ID.
Listen, what do you mean underground? What's
I went to the strip club in Atlanta. You had to show an ID, bro.
I'm saying, explain to me. I grew up in Atlanta, and if you ask anybody who from Atlanta, if you was 15, 16, 17, you can get into the club if you paid some extra dollars. It was just that simple.
Well, everybody knows that when you're
on the West End.
Everybody knows that when you're young, but guess what? Young, underage, 18 people aren't voting. So that's irrelevant.
But what I'm saying is
and let me tell you this. You said, wait. You said, okay, the women, they got that ID, they get the benefits. Well, the Democrats are using women as the reason why ID shouldn't be required. They said this is going to disenfranchise women, but we know that most women have their ID.
Well, listen, I'm not here to support either side. The only reason I make that comment is because you're acting like you don't know what their concern is. And all I was just saying is their concern is that the minorities by far are the ones without IDs opposed to whites.
So in your mind, you truly believe in your heart that Democrats don't want to require voter ID because they're concerned that minorities won't be able to vote.
Exactly. Minority vote. Yeah.
You really believe that? You truly believe that that's why Chuck Schumer doesn't want voter ID?
Okay, why
he's literally saying that you are too stupid to get an ID. And you're like, yeah, Chuck, we stupid. You're literally agreeing with them when they're saying that our people are too stupid to get an ID, even though you and I both know that the majority of our people have an ID, bro. Why are you doing that?
Listen, your interpretation, of it is fine. You
they
know
are saying that this ain't my interpretation. You have to be stupid to not be able to get an ID. Even if you don't have an ID. Wait. Even if you don't have an ID and you want to vote, you can go get an ID. And they're saying black people are too stupid to go get an ID if they want to vote. And you're agreeing with them.
No. See, the thing about it
then voter ID is not a problem.
Listen. The thing about it is, for a lot of voters, black votes, I would say a lot of black votes, Latino voters, if there is voting, a lot of people in the hood don't give a damn about voting. They don't give a fuck about what's going on in the world outside of what's going on with their struggle. And so, damn, where I was going with that? Man, you got me amped up over here. But yeah, so they're only concerned with their struggle. And so if there is a barrier to them voting when they already don't want to vote or don't really care too much about voting, then that kills the vote. Because they're not going to go get their license.
They're not going to vote. They're not going to vote anyway. They're not going to vote anyway if they don't want to vote.
They're potential voters, though. If there is no barrier to voting, people get convinced to vote. That's the whole purpose of going out on the campaign trail, is to get people to vote. And so people who don't have license or have some sort of barrier, it's going to, they might just say fuck it, because it ain't that important to them. Some people's parents are making their
So
kids
why
vote.
would you? So why would you want a person who doesn't care about voting either way making a decision for you as far as voting? I wouldn't want someone. I wouldn't want someone who doesn't care about voting to make decisions for me politically. If they don't care about voting, they shouldn't vote.
I mean, hell, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't see how you agreeing with Democrats' racist idea that black people is too stupid to get an ID. And we all know your mama, your big mama, everybody you know had an ID growing up. But now you're going to lie up here. No, they didn't. Yes, they did. Because when I was young, black kids, when they turned 16, they want to go get a driver's license so they could drive a car.
One thing I know, black folks are not too fucking stupid to get an ID. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
So why is Chuck Schumer saying that?
He's not saying that. That's your interpretation, obviously, right? Come on.
No,
now.
that's he's saying that. He said this in
that's your interpretation, dog.
Listen, bro. He said this disenfranchises black and Latino voters who do not have the ability to go get ID.
Okay. Sometimes the ability involves having bills come, having a proper bill to present, to be able to, getting your birth certificate. So many people don't. You got so many people don't.
So if they don't, so if they don't have a bill, how do they have their lights on, their gas on, their water? How are they reading and looking at TV? I know they love watching Tubi. You need electricity to do that.
Well, what I'm talking about right now is men that are living with women who got the benefits. That's just a portion of who I'm talking about.
Men who got the women who get the benefits, they still have IDs. Because the men also go get benefits. They go get GR, general relief, $200 a month and $300 in food stamps.
We see it all the time. Guys get pulled over and they don't have their license, and they're acting like their license.
But they'll
is
still
not
have
suspended.
their California ID. They'll still either have their California ID or they'll have their driver's license number. I know my driver's license number D5034897. I've memorized it. Most black men have their driver's license number memorized because we get pulled over by the cops a lot.
Yeah, and you probably are a responsible person. You probably got a fucking job. You probably pay bills, right?
Even when I was a gang member, I had an ID. Even when I was shooting people when I was younger, I had an ID.
See, one thing I know, like
when I was in the street fighting people at the movies, I had an ID.
I'm saying, yeah, okay, you had an ID. You can't. I can't
All
even
my
believe
friends
that.
had
Listen,
IDs.
I can't even believe that you're making the argument that that everybody in the trenches got an ID or a driver's license.
I've been in the trenches, man. I've been in the trenches.
When the ID is not serving most of them any purpose for them to put value on it to keep it all the time.
I've been in the trenches, and all the people I knew in the trenches had IDs.
Okay.
Come on, bro. You know this. You go ahead, P Sizzle.
I'm just saying.
Hey, Brandon. Yeah, good show as always. I just want to chime in and say I do see the point Chuck Schumer is making. As much as I want to hate Democrats, like DMV offices are really slow, especially in rural areas, especially because I'm from the South, so I know that. And like some people might not be able to go get it. There's homeless people that don't have IDs as well. And I'll also say, like, as much as I want there to be election fraud, like there has been a lot of investigations. Like, like they're not trying to get illegals to vote because, like, if you compromise the integrity of our system, then like there's gonna be a lot of different issues going on. But that's just my thoughts on the situation. And even beyond, like, I just don't think blaming Democrats is gonna do us any good because the way things are in this country, like Trump's kind of just like been dog shit as a president. Like even the tariffs thing, I remember 6 months ago you were saying, "Oh, I'm gonna be wrong about the tariffs. Like our economy is gonna have a revival," but in reality, we're about to pay back every single dollar back to importers.
Listen, They're never getting that money back, bro.
They are, Brandon.
They're never. When are they getting the money back?
The Supreme Court ruled that we're going to pay back the money.
No,
to
the Supreme
importers.
Court did not rule that the money is going to get paid back.
I don't know how you can like shamelessly defend Trump still when
I'm not shamelessly. I'm shamelessly defending facts.
You're not. Like, our economy is growing at 1.7%. That's not.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
That's
for
not.
a big
It literally
economy.
came out yesterday on the Wall Street Journal, and you do this thing where you just
our GDP was like 4.4%.
It's not, Brandon. It's
All right,
1.7% for the last 12 weeks, and I'm working finance
for the last 12 weeks.
I
You
would
said
know
the
this-
last 12 weeks.
I would know this more than
Oh,
you.
my- All right, man. All right. So you're telling me that the stock market wasn't up?
Stock market
Record
literally
highs.
cratered the last 2 weeks.
Was the stock market?
Did
Did it not
see-
reach record highs?
It does that under every
I'm
president.
asking you a
genius.
very simple question.
It does that under every
I'm asking
president.
you a very simple question. You said you're in finance. Did the stock market not reach record highs?
And it cratered due to AI and cryptocurrency
So,
and private
I'm
credit
asking
default.
you one simple question. Did the stock market reach record highs just a couple weeks ago?
That doesn't mean anything.
No, I'm asking a simple question. It's a yes or no answer.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay,
Sure.
so how do you say the economy is tanking when the stock market reached
The
record
stock
highs
market does
just a
not
couple weeks ago?
represent the blue collar workforce, Brandon.
Okay.
Like, how should I explain this to you? Like,
Okay. So the blue collar workforce doesn't work for the companies that are represented on the stock market. Got it.
the stock market can keep going higher just as a result of increased pricing, increased inflation. It's a hedge against asset inflation. That's how finance and money work.
Inflation
Do
has
you realize
Inflation
that
has cool.
foreign countries are selling our treasuries in the billions and our dollar is cratering its currency? Do you realize how bad that is for us long term?
I don't.
Do you realize that we're not?
I don't
onshoring
agree with you.
manufacturing?
You're saying a bunch of things with no evidence.
Yes, there's no onshoring of manufacturing. There are no jobs being created. We're losing our gross domestic product. The Supreme Court ruled against your genius Trump, who came out with these dumbass policies when in reality, he was supposed to be America first. He was supposed to be creating jobs, and he just did the most dumbest thing on April 1st. And look what happened now. We just lost the Supreme Court ruling, and our party looks really dumb because a lot of people in our party is involved with Jeffrey Epstein. And
All
you
right,
want to
so
sit here every night and you want to defend
I
Trump.
love bringing up proof because you sound very convincing to someone who doesn't know anything. Did the Supreme Court rule that tariffs have to be paid back? In a landmark 6-3 decision on February 20th, 2026, the Supreme Court ruled that the president exceeded his authority by unilaterally imposing sweeping tariffs under the 1977 International Emergency Economic Powers Act. While the ruling declared these tariffs illegal, the court did not explicitly order the government to pay them back. So you lied when you first got up here. You said we got to pay all that back. I said no, we don't. They didn't rule that we had to pay that stuff back. They're
Yes,
never
they
gonna.
did.
I
You're
said
going
they're
off
not.
ChatGPT. There's a
No,
$130
bro,
billion
they
clause.
did not.
There is
Bro,
a clause for repayment
I've
of $130 billion. You can be as sassy as you want. You can be as uneducated as you want. But the justices that he himself ruled against us, genius. That doesn't look good at all.
I'll continue to let you talk, but what I'm telling you is I've done the research. The Supreme Court did not rule that the tariffs had to be paid back. As a matter of fact, many people said the Supreme Court was irresponsible with the ruling because they did not outline a strategy or a method or a timeline in which this stuff had to be paid back. So Trump even said it when he was speaking. He said they're never going to get the money back because we don't have to pay it back. Even though something is illegal, that doesn't mean that that's a rule. Okay, say for instance, a judge can rule that I frauded you, right? But that the judge don't necessarily have to rule that I have to pay it back. It happens all the time in white collar crimes. People, I'll give you an example. Kamora Lee Simmons, she's married to the guy who used to manage the funds for Goldman Sachs, right? He got indicted and convicted of like millions and millions of dollars worth of fraud, right? He doesn't have to pay any of that money back. He's doing 2 years in prison. Once he's done, he's done. People get convicted of frauding and doing things illegal with money all the time. And very rarely, actually, do these people have to pay the money back. So they said it was illegal. They said he overstepped his bounds. Trump is going to argue that the Congress empowered him to make these rules. And the Supreme Court is just saying, yo, the Supreme Court is just basically saying, yeah, what you did wasn't constitutional. They actually pushed it back to a lower court for any continuing litigation involving that. So they never said it had to be paid back. Even Scott Bessent was like, yeah, that money's not getting paid back. Trump said himself, if they try to make us pay it back, they're going to be tied up in court for years. So what are you talking about? You started your statement.
You can run around a circle with me.
Listen,
you can run a circle around me with these fraud cases and all you
I'm just a host.
Bullshit reasoning. But
I'm
the
just
reality
a host.
is
You started your statement with
the reality. The reality is the policy was rolled out very horribly.
You started the conversation
the reality
with
is
a lie.
These people you want to defend are cratering our economy.
Pizzle.
You want to sit here. You want to sit here defend the stock market when in reality you probably don't even have any stocks in the stock market.
I do.
A majority of Americans do not have stocks. Okay. Like you just want to sit here and talk about S&P 500 when blue collar is shrinking, onshoring is shrinking. There are no jobs being created. The rollout was horrible for tariffs, and I know for a fact none of the 70 million people that voted for Trump wanted him to do such a bad job in the first 12 months.
I voted for Trump, and I think he's doing a great job.
Have you looked at the popularity rating, or you want to just say that's
popularity? See, you're talking about popularity, bro. I'm not worried about that.
Our own Fox News has him put down as one of the most unpopular presidents.
I don't care about Fox News.
And see, your source just so happened to be the same source I use to pull up the information about the IDs.
Listen, man, I'm telling you right now. This guy said that the Supreme Court ruled that Trump has to pay back the tariffs.
They did, Brandon. BBC, Wall Street Journal has said there's $130 billion clause in the future to pay it back.
Okay,
like,
so I probably
bad. It looks very bad when our justice system is not aligned with our president with our economic policy.
You can yell as much as you want. It's not going to make you right. You lie. Look, I don't have stocks.
You can be as sassy as you want, as fucking gay as you want. It's
I'm
not
going
make you
straight to facts.
Like, you literally got humiliated out of no jumper, and you're doing these shows for 30 views.
Now you're really losing the argument. Look, he ran because the devil runs when the truth shows up. That's for sure. I don't have stocks. I have Goldfields Limited, Public Storage, Apple, Rumble, Nvidia, S&P 500 Growth Index, Home Depot, Target, BJ's Wholesale, Tesla, Microsoft, Micron Technology, SanDisk. I have Meta. I have Amazon. But come on, bro. Stop it. Don't play with me. And then my girl, Miss Berry, she send me stock all the time. She don't even donate nothing. She just send me stock. So stop. But I'm telling you guys, these guys bring up stuff. They argue lies, right? Then I pull up the facts, and then they get mad and start yelling at me about no jumper. You care more about no jumper than I do, and you ain't never even been on it.
I use the same source you use, so I don't know what you. So what makes your source different than mine?
Because I know that 40% of black people are not walking around with ID.
Because you know that your cousin got an ID. I ain't say 40%. I ain't even say it was that much of a percentage. You want me to read it out to you? What did it say?
You said black people make up 40% of the people who don't have ID.
I didn't say 40%. Come on now.
All right.
It says approximately 11% of U.S. citizens lack government-issued photo IDs, with rates significantly higher among minority groups: blacks 13 to 21%, Hispanics 10 to 23%, voters disproportionately less likely to have necessary photo identification compared to white voters, which is 5 to 8%. Over 34 million citizens may face obstacles due to missing IDs or outdated information.
They may face obstacles. Come on, man.
Yeah, because everybody's not. It's not all. Of course,
when
it's
you
not
register,
all, so
listen. When they literally register you to vote when you go get your ID or renew your ID. Understand that. So people who don't have ID, they're not even interested in voting because they're not even registering to vote. Understand that. So the people who care about voting and vote regularly and who are involved in the process and who have their kids vote, they will make sure that their kids get an ID because everyone has to get an ID anyway. In some places, it's illegal to walk around without ID. So I want to read this because I'm looking at something similar to what you're talking about. Approximately 6 to 13% of Black adult citizens in the United States lack a government-issued photo ID. Now, mind you, government issued is different from state issued, but it says that this is depending on the study and whether it measures a photo ID specifically or includes, for example, a driver's license, right? Studies indicate that 18% of Black adult citizens do not have a driver's license, right? So it's very vague when they do these studies because some people have a driver's license, but they don't have a state issued identification card. Other people have a state issued identification card, but they don't have an ID. Me personally, I don't have a state issued identification card, but I do have a driver's license, which is a form of ID. I also have a passport, which is a government form of ID, and I have a birth certificate. But we have the resources where anybody can get access. And the only thing I would require if the Save America Act is passed is that the states create some type of subsidy for getting your ID or birth certificate for people who truly do not have the money to get these things. But in most states, they already have that. They already have vouchers where you can go get your ID or whatever for free. So it's like healthcare. Most states have a mechanism for people to get free healthcare if they don't have money.
Well, for one thing, when it's talking about government IDs and all of that, they are talking about state IDs as well. But
we don't know that specifically. We don't know that specifically. We would have to.
It's a given.
No.
It's a given.
Even in the source right here, it says it has to be specific because the studies don't necessarily talk about those things. Some studies are very nuanced. A lot of studies are nuanced to get the desired result.
We're talking about, come on now, government IDs. We're talking. They're talking about state IDs. They're talking about mostly any state or federal ID. We can come on now, but
a state ID is not a government issued ID, bro. That's a state issued ID.
It's still a government. It's still the state government. Is the government. Come on now.
All right.
But anyways. But the money is not necessary the main barriers to getting the ID. You know, like a lot of times when they say, hey, in order to do this, we need two forms of ID, or we need a bill or a bank statement. You got people out there that can't provide those things.
Who?
A lot of people. Sometimes, I mean, come on.
A lot of people.
2 IDs.
A lot of people. See, that's what I'm saying. You're taking a fringe, a very small minority, and trying to make that like relevant to what we're talking about, and that's not going to happen. People who want to vote have an ID, bro.
I'm not talking about a majority. Only point I was making, just listen. The only point I was making was that their concern is about potential voters. Potential voters, because every voting season, that's the focus. Not so much on the of course the people who normally vote, but to get over the edge or to make the difference is being able to get the people who wouldn't typically vote. And so
maybe
people
to help those people get IDs.
Well, hey, I mean,
if you want them to vote, help them get IDs. But I know in my life experience as a grown man, 40 years old, nobody who don't got an ID is worried about voting.
And I agree with you.
And we're not going to allow the Democrat Party to use their fake concern for these people. We're not going to allow them to weaponize these people's laziness and ignorance as a way and use it as a vehicle to allow illegals to vote in our elections. We're not doing that. And I'll tell you one thing too. I don't even think the ID stuff is even about illegals. I think it's mostly about like people, like Democrats having like dead people voting, people voting 2 and 3 times, people doing ballot stuffing and stuff like that. Because those were all tactics the Democrats were using to like steal elections. And there's a lot of these people getting prosecuted right now for election fraud. There was a huge case in Wisconsin where the lady was stuffing ballots in the ballot box late at night and got caught on camera. So we know this shit is happening. And I believe it's happening in the battleground states.
Possible, maybe.
In California, bro, let me tell you, California, they grabbing groups of people, taking them to the polls. Yeah, they don't know if these people are citizens. And I really think the immigrants are voting in the local elections because there's really no vetting in the local elections.
That's possible. I mean, I don't put that past. I don't put that past nobody on either side though. Because it's all. I mean, the government. Shit. The government is all about working the loopholes. If there's
So
a
did you
loophole
vote
to
for
be
Donald
worked,
Trump in the last election? Of course you did.
nah,
Who'd you vote for?
I didn't vote.
Oh my God. You know you voted for Kamala Harris. Stop lying.
I didn't vote. I didn't like neither side, to be honest with you. I wasn't.
What are you doing up here, man?
Hey.
I voted for Trump. Trump was great, and he's doing a great job as president. I fuck with Trump. Trump 2028. Shout out to Diners Search for Uhuru. Bro, we love Trump, bro. And as an older black man, you should be like, yo, I fuck with Trump because our younger generation is pumped up about Trump. My thing is like this. You older than me, right? You grew up in church. Your granny made you sit in the front row. You know what I'm saying? Read the Bible. All that.
How in the
Wait a
world
minute.
you think I'm older than you? How
You're definitely older than me. But here's the thing.
Crazy as hell.
This is what I don't like. This is why I don't mess with older black people. Older black people
your age. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, older black people know what's right and what's wrong. They'll say, I don't like neither one of them. But at the end of the day, it's like one of these groups wants to mutilate children's genitalia. They want to send biological men in the bathroom with our daughters, mothers, wives, and sisters. They want biological men to be playing in girls' sports. They want to make pedophilia decriminalized. You know all this. I don't get how you cannot vote for the other side when one side is advocating for all that craziness.
Shit, I mean, come on. It's not like this man done ran back to back like he was just doing so good.
This ain't got nothing to do with
he's doing so good.
It don't matter if he
just
was
so
the worst.
happy to get him back.
It doesn't matter if he was the worst president in history. He's running against that demonic shit that the Democrats are promoting.
Well, my thing is, he for me, he's too unpredictable. And
you're missing my point. You're missing my point. The other side literally is trying to implement demonic policy that hurts our children, wives, and families. And you're like, well, but this other guy's too unpredictable. Bro, it's like saying, bro, if you walk through this door, they're going to blow your fucking brains out. If you walk through this door, they're going to throw a pie in your face. Well, I really don't like to get pie in my face. So bro, the choice was obvious.
Man, all the things that he's dialed back, you got black folks getting
your mind is not capable
left
of
and right.
Your mind is not capable. You're talking about people getting fired compared to these people mutilating our children's genitals, taking our kids and being able to say, "Oh, you a girl now." You're talking about someone getting fired and equating it to that, bro. Like those two things aren't even comparable.
Well, yeah,
you get fired, you get another job. If you get your genitals mutilated, you're scarred for life.
Look, now if you go through what both sides have, either side is not going to be perfect, obviously. Right. So what you typically
This
do
ain't
is
even about perfection.
what you typically do is you pick the side that most coincides with the things that you believe. Now,
Okay, do you have female relatives?
Yes, I do.
Would you feel comfortable with a biological man with an intact penis wearing a dress, having access to your female family members' bathrooms, locker rooms? Even if one of them went to jail, he can then go into the prison with them. Would you feel comfortable with that being a reality?
No, and I didn't see it. I didn't see it before Trump, and I don't see it now.
No, what are you talking about? There's 45 men in women's prisons in California, raping women and all that. It's on record. The little girl who got raped in the bathroom by the transsexual dude. They got the guy who was playing on the girls' volleyball team, cracked the girl's skull. What are you talking about?
First of all, like there's nothing that's going to be stopping transsexuals from going into a bathroom.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Unless
Florida made it illegal.
Okay, we're talking about
federally.
State. Now,
Federally,
if
it's illegal.
Federally.
Well,
look, pull it up.
Wait, I don't know this illegal
so
federally.
if it's not federally, then we're going back to state. So a transsexual can go into any bathroom they want to, no matter what.
That's not true. That's not
even
true.
with Trump in the office.
No.
What's the repercussions? None. Who's going to check their shit? Nobody. It's just the way that it is.
Look. Anybody? Okay, here we go. Whether transgender women can access women's restrooms depends heavily on local or national laws, which are currently in flux, with many areas allowing access based on gender identity, while at least 19 U.S. states have passed laws restricting access to restrooms that align with sex assigned at birth. So the states are deciding whether this is something that's going to happen or not happen.
Exactly.
Okay, no, that's totally fine. But what I'm telling you is a lot of places where they allow it, they make it like, oh, it's a single person restroom. They don't let the men go in with women. What they've been doing is just changing the restrooms to all access restrooms. And it's like a one, at a time situation. What I'm telling you is beyond that, them going to the bathrooms with the women, you also have these dudes literally going into locker rooms. You have the situation where they pass these laws where the like where I live, California, they have Los Angeles is a transgender sanctuary city where they could take your kid from another state, bring them to Los Angeles. Once the kid gets to Los Angeles, the state can do whatever they want to the kid with their genitalia and all that, and the parents have no authority to stop it.
So when is Trump going to stop that on a governmental level, on a nationwide level? Then, because right now it's only the states. It's up to the states. The states are taking care of those things.
What I'm telling you is Trump,
and I agree.
Trump
with the
literally. Listen, I'm trying to tell you, Trump already said any doctor or person in the medical field sitting up promoting transgender ideology and all that stuff is going to lose their license. That was an executive order. So Trump is combating it, but the states are sovereign. So they get to make the decisions on the ins and outs when it comes to, the whether they're going to do the gender affirming and all that stuff. But that stuff is right now in court right now. And Trump is backing it, but the Supreme Court has to rule whether or not it's constitutional to do it. They're literally in court as we speak, fighting this. The people who've been transitioned and stuff, they are going to the Supreme Court, testifying before Congress about that. It's active. They're actively doing it.
Okay, specifically about what though? What are they in court doing?
They're testifying about how their lives were ruined by adults and teachers who told them that they needed to get their genitals mutilated, they need to get their breasts cut off, things like that, in order to save their lives, because they was going to wake up one day and want to commit suicide. It's all over like social media. Like if you research it, you'll see it.
I mean, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with it.
But that's what I'm saying. You only had one president talk about, I'm making this the Transgender Day of Awareness and trying to get Title IX to include transgenders and all types of shit. Come on. Biden was trying to erase the protections for women in our Constitution at a judicial level, bro, at a federal level. That's because Trump, he don't really got to do nothing because there's a lot of protections already there. But you got Democrats who are trying to overturn those protections. And I'm looking at black men like, you didn't vote, you know what I'm saying? Cool, but you do realize that there's one side that's really pushing hard to try to push this stuff into our communities. And you know they aim this stuff at black people. You know that. That's why you got all these black dudes walking around acting like sissies. They aim this stuff at us.
Well, you know.
So I'm just saying, it's, to me, I feel like it's the black man's moral obligation to vote against Democrats, at least for right now. Because Democrats ain't doing shit to help black people at all.
There's a lot of black folks argue that that Trump has done everything in his power to dial back things for black folks, right?
No, that no black person argues that. Black people argue bullshit because black people, even black liberals, know that Trump has done more for black people than Democrats. But they try to argue other things like immigration, and when they come for them, next they gonna come for us type shit. Black people, the smart black people, know that Trump has done a lot for black people. So that what they're trying to do is they're trying to go back to the racist stuff. He's racist. He's racist.
But see, the smart black people that you're talking about, or that you are specifically referring to, are Republicans, right?
No, I'm saying even Democrats know this stuff. You think Democrats? Do you think Democrat politicians don't know the facts about Trump? They know the facts, bro. They just argue racism. Yeah, he did it, but he's racist. He's just doing that because he's trying to like pander and all this stuff.
So you think that they're saying, yeah, he did help us, but come on, man.
They do that all the time. They do that all the time.
Anyways, man,
I'm trying to tell you,
that was funny.
Black Democrats do that all the time.
Okay, I hear you. I don't know where them folks at, but I hear you. But look, man, I gotta take it on in. It's been good talking to you, man. I was rooting for you when you was on that No Jumper, because you definitely provided a different perspective and you brought some value. And I don't know what the hell happened, but well, I don't know. It might be this. It might be actually you get on black folks a little too much.
No,
it seemed like on at every instance you look for the opportunity to go against the blacks. And I think that's where the problem come in.
No, I go against black house Negroes. Do you know who the modern day house Negroes are?
Well, according to you, they're probably the Democrats, right?
No. The modern house Negroes are the black people. It's really the rich black boule, right? Who they make excuses for every degenerate thing black people do, like Al Sharpton, Ben Crump, Jesse Jackson before he died, dudes like John Lewis. You never hear these men criticize anything black people do. Black people could kill 80 black people in 1 weekend in Chicago. You will never hear Al Sharpton say, hey, my people, black folks, we got to get it together. Show me one video where Al Sharpton came and was like, hey, black people, this is ridiculous. This violence got to stop. We can't be doing it. You'll never find the video because he's black. He's a black house nigga. A house nigga continues to make excuses for black people and continues to encourage black people to continue being ignorant and doing crazy stuff because that's where the money is. He gets more. He makes his money by being an apologist for black ignorance. So you saying I come down on black people too hard? I don't come down on black people hard enough.
Well, I think that that's not true. I believe that he has said those type of things when it comes to black people. But I believe their most important, valuable thing that they've been fighting since forever are the things that are behind the things that got us to where we at right now, with like the Jim Crow laws and all of that kind of stuff.
Where are we right now? There's nothing in America that a black man can't do. Black folks rolling around in $200,000 cars. Black folks buying big ass $1 million houses. Black folks flying all over the world. What exactly is Jim Crow preventing us from doing in 2026?
I'm just talking about the aftermath.
What's the after? This is the aftermath, and the aftermath is black folks are free to do whatever they want in the United States of America.
But the prison systems are loaded. The poverty levels are high.
People who do crime are in prison. People who live in poverty are people who don't want to take advantage of opportunities. I got a bunch of family members living in poverty. Now go tell their ass to get a job. They don't want to do it.
But would you agree that there's a source?
Nope.
So there's not a source.
Nope. We grew up in the same house. Listen, this is what I'm trying to get you to understand. If I grew up in the same house as my brother, my blood brother, and this dude decides to be hyper emotional, he decides to do some dumb stuff when he was younger, go to prison. He gets out of jail, he gets jobs, he goes to the jobs, he's arguing with the bosses, he don't want to take constructive criticism. He think when somebody says something to him, they attacking him because they racist and all this stuff. You telling me the white man is making that happen? No, my brother came to me. My brother came to me
at this point. Well, let me ask you this: Do you feel that we all were created equal, basically, like all the races and everything?
Sure, why not?
Okay, well, if that's the case, if that is the case,
right?
If you was to take the Chinese,
okay,
and you have the Chinese come over here, and we just say they ran the Latinos from this land,
okay,
and then those same Chinese went to South America, and they got and they brought them over here as no matter of fact, we just say the Chinese went to Europe and they brought the white people over here, and they ran them through the same exact. If everything was all exactly the same, then those white people will have the same exact outcome that we have right now in terms of the prison population, the poverty levels, the drug issues, and whatever else.
No, that's wrong.
Okay, why wouldn't it? If we're all equal.
White people don't have the same outcome as blacks because white people don't apologize for criminality.
No. Hold on, you sidetracking.
No, I'm not. White people's value system, I'm telling you, white people's value system is different from black people's value system. Black people did have a very good value system all the way up until the 60s when they introduced welfare. Welfare took the black fathers out of the home. The black fathers were the ones who maintained accountability in the family structure. White folks didn't really deal with that issue. They're starting to deal with it now. But ultimately, white folks, they go and create communities that are peaceful. They shun criminality. They'll tell on each other. They'll take each other to send each other to prison. Black people tend to have no communities anymore because we apologize for criminality and we defend the people who destroy our communities and hurt people in our communities. And we say they're only doing it because of slavery. And then y'all come and say, oh, well, the white man, like I said last night, you talk about the white man had a head start and Black people had hundreds of thousands of years of a head start on white people. So none of this stuff. Go ahead.
So if the Chinese brought the white people over here and they enslaved them for 400 years plus,
yes,
and then they put in those systems in place to where the woman, you know, she can't have a job in order to pay $5-7 for housing, and they can get X amount of dollars for food stamps and all of that, and they can't have a man in the household, and they separate the family. Would you say that the white people would not be in the same exact situation that black people are in right now if we're all equal?
I mean, I guess they would.
That's all
But,
I'm saying. So
but
all I'm
if we're all equal, if we're
so-
all equal, and you fast forward to 2026, black people, there's nothing we can't do in this country. That there's nothing stopping us from doing whatever we want to do in this country when we want to do it. So yeah, you can go through all that bullshit and drama, but once you get to the point where you got some freedom and some self, you have some autonomy, right? You no longer have those excuses. You no longer can use the past as an excuse.
Listen. Yes, we can move forward for sure.
Yeah.
And we should. But there are some people that have been damaged so bad, generation after generation after generation, to the point of no return. Those people won't be able to make it.
Well, then they need to be cut off.
Well, hey, I mean, that's your opinion. But look,
I don't know who these people are, but if you're saying they can't be saved, why are you like, that's your opinion? Well, if they can't be saved, you got to let them go. You can't just let them exist among you. It's like having a rabid dog. Your dog get rabies, you just gonna let bro walk around the house? Ain't nothing we can do for him, so just let him roam around to death. No, you get rid of his ass.
They're going to prison. They're going to prison. They're going to prison. They're stuck in these environments. They haven't been
not stuck.
They're mentally stuck. They're mentally stuck.
Okay.
And all they know is what they see. That's the extent of their knowledge. And they operate off of what they know, and what they know is sending them to prison. That's just point blank.
Well, we have the internet now, so people can see more than just what's right around them, you know. But thank you so much, live from the deck, calling in. I gotta go. Not only am I getting sleepy, but I got somewhere to go real quick. Thank you so much for tapping in. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this. I appreciate everything you do for me in this channel. Shout out to my brother, Sucker Season LA. Salute to the channel for the $4.99 holla, the $5 holla. Appreciate that. Thank y'all so much for watching. I appreciate everything you do for me in this channel. Till the next time, take care of yourself. But most importantly, please.